Everyone survived without Joe
Not have a
today?
presentation.
Still owe you that email.
Yeah.
I know you're out of town for 2 weeks or something on baseball. I don't know. That he's going to the baseball tournament? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I, like Cooperstown or something? Yeah. What does he say? Having fun?
No.
There's us. Mm-hmm.
Give me that presentation.
Hello, John. Excuse me, Miss Carol.
What are you doing? Okay. I'm like, what are you over here?
You guys care about Orland? I don't.
There's a couple of short ones. I don't know if you want to punch them out.
Over to you first, Jim.
Yeah. Couple ways to interpret that, John.
Your agenda?
Yeah. I don't think Frank would mind.
How about ready?
You guys want to do the technology first? Punch it out. It's pretty quick. Sure.
You guys ready?
Yep,
Trustee Fenton?
Here.
Trustee Dodge?
Here.
Trustee Ruzick?
here.
Technology Innovation and Performance Improvement Committee, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Technology Innovation and Performance Improvement Committee of June 18, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Laserfish Electronic Document Management Software.
Frank is pretty straightforward. Haven't heard laserfish in a while, but it's still out there. So
Still out there and widely used. So this is the first part of our back scanning that we're going to be doing for development services, and this will allow us to start moving some of those paper documents that we have in boxes, file cabinets, and rooms, and electronically. Put those in a searchable format that's indexed and
so the data is usable,
data is usable,
readily available.
readily available.
I don't know if we're ready for this.
I don't know. I'm
Save
used to
hours
waiting.
of time, so.
Is there a motion or any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Good. Trustee Fenton.
move to recommend to the village board to approve the purchase of Laserfish Avante software platform first-year annual maintenance, implementation, and training from TKB Associates of Mokina, Illinois, in the amount not to exceed $32,100.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Harris Enterprise Resource Planning Annual Software Maintenance.
Frank, pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, this is our annual maintenance costs for our enterprise system, which is our payroll, accounts receivable, and today Comdep.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
I got a
sure.
quick question for Frank broadly. Any questions on this issue or no?
Yep.
You're doing a lot, so things broadly are going fairly well with everything you're touching.
Yeah, things are going a little bit slower, but yes, things are going actually quite well. So vacation time does eat into some of the training that we have going on with the Tyler Technologies.
But so Frank, in your journey through IT world, right? How would you rate how this has been going broadly, the technology world? There's always challenges and problems. What's your sense?
The challenges haven't been from our staff. So the staff has been full-on, 100% engaged.
Okay.
And they've been responding faster than Tyler can fix the bugs that we find when they pop up.
Okay.
So we have, next week we have subject matter expert training for 6 staff members. And at that time, we'll be working on the enterprise asset management, which is part of the workflow work order management, asset management, maintenance scheduling, things like that. And then that'll set that team up to be able to be the super users for the next phase, which will be end user training within 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's kind of going on schedule.
About
Ish.
a month behind. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Can
Motion.
I just ask a general technology
Shoot,
question?
we're here.
Has nothing to do with this. But it is, as you know.
Why'd you get the blue screen of death on a Microsoft?
No. One of the commissions asked about software for fundraising in order to, if somebody, Johnny Smith calls into or sends into the village $20 for a certain project in the village, that we would be able to track that and it would stay in that account, and then we would be able to put those people like on a mailing list for further fundraisers for the purpose of raising money, for example, for the nature center.
I think, I don't think Director Mampey's here.
No, she is, yeah, so,
That's a better question for her. From a software perspective, we can capture that today in enterprise.
Yeah, we can currently, when we get revenues in that are dedicated to a specific source, we either put them into a certain account or we assign what we call a project code, and the project code identifies what they can be used for. And then we track the spending against that same project code, so we see how the money, where the money came from, and then how we spent it.
So in other words, you would be able to create a fundraising list for that particular project, for example, the nature center.
When we try to do some of that with recreation, so like with their events that they have, we send them a list, or they get a list out back from that, and then they know what sponsors sponsor which events in the prior years.
Okay, so we already have it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
I will relay that message.
The tool that we don't have is the way to capture and email them back. If they do make that donation, that'd be a manual process. I don't know if we could go for something like a GoFundMe type page or something like that, if that'd be appropriate.
Oh, so you don't have a way to track it back to them?
who's that?
To the donor.
Donation.
The donor?
Donation comes in, we know who it came from, and we have all the information that we need to make a list for the next year, and then we go back to those same sponsors. It's not actually in a fundraising software, it's all done either through ActiveNet.
It's just fun tracking at a certain point, right?
Yeah, but we track those funds, both who it came from and all of their personal information.
Okay, that's what they would need. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
So doable, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Motion second?
Second. Wait, did we make a
I think we
motion?
need-
I didn't
So
make a
There's no motion.
There's no motion,
Mr.
okay.
Chairman,
Thank you for doing
move
that.
to recommend to the village board approval of the Harris ERP
there
annual
was.
software maintenance at a cost not to exceed $64,534.75.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Public Works approval of minutes?
I'll second if you want to make the
Yeah.
motion.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Public Works of June 18, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cold chute addition to one 2019 Ford F-450 4x2 dump truck?
Bill? Oh, sorry. What? Do you want to make a motion
No,
right away?
no, I'll, happy to
It's the
put a
front and
motion
back
on
of
the
a
floor.
truck. There we go.
Move to recommend the village board to approve the addition of $454 for the coal chute addition to one 2019 Ford 450 4x2 dump truck from Henderson Truck Equipment of Huntley.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sanitary sewer cleaning and televising 2018?
Bill, do you want to have any questions?
The
Short version?
This is a program that we've developed due to the MWRD watershed management ordinance. We have to go through and clean a percentage of our total sewage area, in particular the high priority area. This is for a 3-year. We have done it for the past 2 years, 2016 and 2017. And with good results, we get a lot of information back where we're getting leaks into the system or there's water, stormwater, rainwater going into our system. So we can correct those. This as well, we have a 3-year we decided to go with because the first 2 years went well. We could get it hopefully a little bit better pricing, and so we went for the 3-year. We went out for bid. We had several, 6 bids that we received, and we're recommending the lowest for the 2018 year.
Any questions from anyone in the audience about this topic? From the committee members? Motion would be in order.
Madam Chair? I'm
Yes.
sorry, go ahead, Carol.
Okay. Madam Chair, I move to recommend to the village board to accept the bid for the sanitary sewer cleaning and televising 2018 to 2020 from Hydrovision of Illinois LLC of Bridgeview, Illinois, for an annual amount not to exceed $120,000, which is $98,231.70 plus $21,768.30 contingency.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ravinia Avenue water main replacement.
I'll put a motion on the floor, Madam Chair.
Trustee Dodge?
Move to recommend to the village board to accept the bid for Ravinia Avenue water main replacement from PT Farrow Construction, Joliet, Illinois, amount not to exceed $287,048.25, $272,048.25 plus $15,000 contingency.
Second.
Is there any comments anybody has to make?
It's funded. We need to
Funded,
do
it's-
this, right?
Yep,
If I could interject, it's
Sure.
also going to the board tonight.
Right.
In order to speed the process up so that we can get it with the road program,
with this year's funds.
this year's road program.
Imagine that, coordinating, water main replacements with the streets. I think we've been doing that for a while, haven't we?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Energy performance contract for LED street lighting upgrade.
Madam Chair?
Trustee Ruzick.
I move to recommend to the village board to accept the proposal for energy performance contracting LED street lighting upgrade from CTS Group of Chicago, Illinois, for a multi-year upgrade program for an amount not to exceed $500,000 for 2018, and the board-approved budget. Oh, we have two different ones.
Yeah,
Is this in either
Yeah,
one?
well, why don't we talk through this?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I was going to let him
Never
talk
mind.
first, but
Can
you
you say
jumped
never
in there.
mind officially?
Strike that.
Bill, you want to explain why we have two different motions?
We have the option of completing this all within 1 year or in this year, which gives us the full maximum amount of the current rebates. It basically, we have the option, but we don't have the budgeted amount. The 500,000 will only cover a portion of the lighting. And we can budget for next year. So the option was thrown out. We have found funding sources from other projects that are budgeted for this year. What we'll have to do is actually rebudget them next year through the capital.
So
So-
those are projects that are not going to be completed this year, so there'll be funds, excess funds that we would use for this?
For this, yes.
And this way, we'd have access to all of the rebates that are available, and we would complete the project and therefore start gaining our financial, savings back by switching over.
When's this coming to the board?
Tonight.
Yes.
Okay, and do we think the whole board understands what we're doing is, I don't have a problem with the option, makes total sense, but you think everybody's generally of a mindset to say, sure, let's get this done for a lot of reasons, but that means something comes off the list because of the funding, correct?
Correct.
I just want to make sure.
But
that
I also
everybody
think it's
gets
something that wasn't going to get completed this year anyway, correct, Bill?
Yes. We were working toward them, but they are not going to be done. Two of the items that we're moving out are the Public Works Site Improvement Plan, which can be pushed off another year. They're not quite ready with the LFI site that's there, as well as the master plan for the whole site. The other item that we're deferring would be the street light upgrade on Harlem Avenue, which would be for construction.
So we were going to defer that one anyways,
That
Correct.
probably wouldn't get done until next year, construction-wise.
regardless whether we did this or not. Okay. Kind of makes sense.
So it actually makes sense.
It
This
does.
makes sense.
It would be a clean sweep, our village streets would all be done, and now keep in mind, this is not LaGrange Road or any street that are owned by the county or the state. This is strictly the Village Orland Park streets.
So, two things. I'm going to miss the opportunity to pretend we're in Springfield where we spend money we don't have, but that's a
Okey-dokey.
snarky comment. So we talked this through, right? Which is, I still have it stuck in my head about the brightness of these lights, right? Are we prepared to do the messaging so people understand what we're doing, why we're doing? Because you say LED, you guys know instinctively you think screaming bright light. So I just want to make sure that when we go down this project, people understand what we're doing, why we're doing, when we're doing, given the perception of are attached to LED.
We,
Yuri?
as far as I know, we have not drafted any letters yet or any publications to go out yet.
Didn't we have one that we already switched out?
We've talked about this.
We
In
did.
Maycliff or Fair?
In Fairway.
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 So I guess the push for you guys in administration and PIO is let's think about, let's just tell everybody what's coming and why, and if they want to go drive through a subdivision where it's done, go here. Let's just put it out there.
Have we had any complaints from anyone in Fairway?
We have not, well, we did have one, because it was a light that was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that was out for a period of time, a street light.
And now it was
we
fixed.
changed it, and it was fixed. We do have members of EPC here, correct? If representatives, CTS group, if there's any questions specifically regarding that.
Yeah, no, just, it's not,
see in the back
yeah, no,
nodding their
it's not to me the efficiency or the technology. I get all that, but, I just think when you will come up to the microphone if you don't mind, when you say LED, I'd like to think a number of people have the similar type of reaction. I just want to get us in front of it, if that's true and what you've seen.
If you could just state your name for the clerk.
Sure, my name's Jaime Frosto. And as far as the LED street lightings, what we have to still do is, if we're selected to move forward, we put together a design that shows a photometric. So you'd be able to pull up a block or a map and you'd see how far that light would spread. And so we've done a couple of these LED street renovations. And in the neighborhoods, sometimes it comes up where maybe they have to come out and adjust it, tilt it down or what have you. And there's also shields that can be installed in case someone has a particular problem where maybe the location of that, of the pole, the utility, or the light pole, just makes it so we have to direct the light in a different way. But typically, yeah, it's communicated to the public. We work with folks and complaints and make sure that everybody's happy at the end. But the first thing that has to be done is this photometric study, which would show exactly what the light spread is. And so there's different wattages depending on the roads, except for LaGrange. Some of their bigger roads may have a
Right,
higher
151st
wattage.
is going to have a larger wattage than
Than a
Maple
residential
Avenue or
area.
something like that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right, and I'm Adam DeVos, project manager for CTS, and we're gonna be going through, if we're selected, go through a complete audit, which is actually, we're gonna set up sample lights. You can kind of pick and choose. We're gonna go through the different areas to see where we can, maybe lower or raise wattages where we need to, look at the distribution. We have had complaints by residents. They've been minimal on past projects, but we've moved forward with types of shielding and other things that we can do to minimize that at no additional cost, which is part of the project.
Are we confident we can get this done this year?
Yes. I have the schedule laid out. I've got copies for everyone if you'd like to see them now.
I'm Chris McNaughton. I've developed most of the project and working through this. As soon as the approval is, I'll start on the pre-approval with ComEd, the rebates and construction schedule and get them out here for the pre-audits. And I work pretty closely with both parties, so us in terms of, installing and then also the, rebates and the savings and those pieces as well. So absolutely.
Yeah, like the idea, just, as you can sense, I'm deeply sensitive to how we communicate this to our residents because the very little I know about lighting is there's the color of the light and there's the lumens or illumination. So wattage equals lumens with LED or no? Because I just, what I've heard you say is good.
Yeah.
There's ways we can adjust it and you can adjust the wattage, you could adjust the angle of the light. So I just think that there's a couple things. I think when I've always heard of LED, it's the color of the light, which is typically brighter than what we've all grown up with. And as you can see by the color of my hair, I've seen more than a few streetlights in my day. So there's that point. And then there's just the brightness of that technology. So we need to get this right to our residents as to what we're doing, why we're doing, and what's the delta on what they're used to so that we message this properly. That's the push to you guys.
Right, like in your house, you can have blue, yellow, or white. And
Yeah, you
you
can
just have to decide which
Pick
color
your
that
color
you
and
want.
pick your lumens, right? So
And we can have these sample
we don't want custom bulbs on every pole, right? Let's be clear, but.
Yeah, and you know, LED is very adjustable like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and so there's finer tuning that can go on within the head, even though whatever the package says, there's usually a range, and you're right, wattage equals lumens, colors inherent to the design, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with wattage or lumens. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So Bill, is it the first?
Second.
Second one.
The second one is the one we want.
All right, so let me try this again. I move to recommend to the village board to accept the proposal for energy performance contracting LED street lighting upgrade from CTS Group of Chicago, Illinois for a single-year upgrade program with additional funding by deferring the Harlem Avenue street light upgrade and Public Works site improvement and master plan until 2019 for an amount not to exceed $1,072,525, which is $524, which is $1,022,524 plus $50,000 contingency.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Development Services, Planning and Engineering Committee, approval of minutes.
Do you want a motion? I'll second.
Sorry, I was looking at something.
Same move to approve the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
2018 Village Landscape Planting Project.
Carrie, can you just tell us what this is?
Sure, Madam Chair, this is actually a request coming from our Parks Department for our green infrastructure restricted funds that we get when developers or cell tower people have to put landscaping in, there's not enough space to do it, and then they have to do a payment in lieu of. That money goes into this restricted funds and can be then utilized for green infrastructure or additional tree planting throughout the village on village-owned properties. We received this request from the Parks Department to add additional landscaping to the Police Department property, Centennial Aquatic Center, Orland Park Health and Fitness Center, and the El Camino Park. The total dollar amount is $21,462. We'll buy the plants, and then the Parks Department will install it.
Okay, seems pretty straightforward. How much is in that account?
There's about $290,000 sitting in there today.
Okay,
Just a portion of it then, yeah?
yep. Any questions?
Yeah, no questions.
No. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Trustee Dodge.
move to recommend the village board approve the use of funds from the tree preservation and green infrastructure account in amount not to exceed $21,462 for the landscaping at Village of Orland Park facilities.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Village Hall Green Roof Project.
Madam Chair, this is another project out of that same fund that's being proposed tonight. This is not a new project. This has been before you previously a couple different times. There's a couple grants that we applied for over the course of the last few years where we did not receive them. Last year, we applied again for an MWRD grant for the green roof as one of our projects through their grant program. We actually did get allocated a $20,000 match, which is referenced in the staff report before you tonight. However, once we got into negotiating the terms of that agreement with Cook County, it became very onerous, and it did not make sense for us to accept the $20,000 grant. So what we're working with MWRD right now on is to find a larger project that we could utilize that $20,000 for. Last year, the village board authorized us to do a structural analysis on the 2 outdoor decks on the second floor here of Village Hall to determine whether it could structurally hold two green roofs, and it came back positive that it could. We are recommending us to move forward on these demonstration projects. This will be the first green roof that we have in the Village of Orland Park. And there's a couple of reasons we're recommending doing this here. One is obviously it's an opportunity to lead by example as it relates to green infrastructure. Secondly, is an opportunity to train not only our village employees and our parks department, but also to train the general community, whether that's the other taxing bodies or anyone who may be interested in doing a green roof, but they're not really sure how to go about doing this. This will show them how to do it, and we'll have educational and training opportunities for that. The other reasons for that is that these will be accessible, so you'll be able to actually get up there and walk on them. Many green roofs, you do not have accessibility because they're on a roof, obviously. And these roofs actually allow for us to get out there and demonstrate and have people come visit it. as well as this is a great opportunity. The point of the Green Infrastructure Fund that the board established many years ago was to do some of these unique green projects that we typically would not see being done within the municipality. So for those reasons, we're asking for approval tonight to actually move forward on this. The total budget for everything is $70,000, and that would come out of that same fund.
So tell us some of the benefits.
Well, the benefits is it actually reduces stormwater. It helps cool the building as well. The plants are very sustainable. And again, for all the other reasons as I mentioned, educational training, things like that. But actually, there is a true benefit for the building itself.
And
Yes.
how are you going to access it? I mean,
Well,
we're
we
gonna-
have two, right now we have two pocket
Right,
doors.
right.
So one of those is required to be ADA accessible, and as you noticed in the staff report, so on this side of the building, that's going to be the ADA accessible. We're actually going to, we found it as a ramp that we can install on this side of the building, where if someone was in a wheelchair or had restricted capacity, they can still utilize it and still get on top of out to the roof. And then on this side, it will not, that one doesn't have to be ADA accessible as well. So there'll be a little seating area out there. There'll be interpretive signs explaining how we do it, what type of plants have been planted, what the benefit. There's also, the nice thing about these roofs is that you have full sun, and you have partial shade areas because of the way the building's constructed. So we'll be able to use a variety of plants as well to demonstrate how a green roof works, not just in the sunny conditions, but also in shaded conditions as well.
Okay.
There's, Carrie, if I'm reading this right, there's a long list of green roofs have proven to blah, blah, blah. It's a whole paragraph. Mm-hmm. It's an awfully long list.
Yeah.
I think humans are born skeptical. You learn cynicism. I'm pretty cynical. All these benefits will be realized by the Village of Orland Park. It's worth a try.
But we're going to test it to see.
I get it, but it's a number of these things are fine. Not quite sure I can make the leap to how this preserves a roofing membrane, especially given what I think is up there, which is probably what, EDPM or TPO. It's a flat roof.
Yeah,
So I just want to be very careful if we go down this pathway. This is just a little too effuse in its praise of this idea. So let's just be balanced about what we do or do not say. I'm pretty sure we're not going to mitigate the urban island heat effect with a patch of green, but we'll come back to it.
They do
But
in downtown Chicago, though.
I don't want to be deeply, yeah, well, I just want to be mindful that I think it's a great thing that we can do, and I think it kind of shows a number of things. I just want to be, I want to be a little more, I don't know,
Conservative.
restrained
Gotcha.
on the praise. Thank
Yep.
you.
I have a question.
Sure. Trustee Fennel?
So what happens, I always have the little negative part here. What happens if we put the green roof in and then all of a sudden we start getting leaks? Who's responsible? Is it the people that put the green roof in, besides Anne Marie, who's having a heart attack back there? But, or is it the village?
Well, first of
that
all,
heavy, all that
the
dirt.
roof will be tested before we put the green roof in. And there's a system, there's a green roof system that goes in. So the nice thing about it is that you can remove sections if you need to replace, if we do get a leak. So it's no different than if it were a leak today. We would be able to fix it.
Right, but we didn't add anything to it. I'm
Right.
just wondering, because if the company adds it to there, would they be responsible?
Well, they
Like if
would.
they were planting and they poked a hole or something?
Yes, during the installation, they would be responsible. But like
But after
long-term
that-
maintenance, then we have to continue to track it and watch it and maintain it. And our Parks Department would be the ones who will be overseeing that.
Okay.
Give it a try.
Is there a motion?
Hang on, let me get back now. Madam Chair,
Trustee Dodge?
move to recommend the village board to approve the use of funds from the tree preservation and green infrastructure account in amount not to exceed $70,000 for the installation of a village hall, green roof and associated amenities and services to the Orland Park Village Hall.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Village Code Amendment?
Just explain this, Carrie. We talked about it. I think it makes sense, but.
Yeah,
give
so
us
the
a
way we
description.
currently administer our business license renewals every year is as they're required to, we send invoices out in November. If they don't pay by the end of the year, we set a second late notice. And currently, the way we assess our late fees for business licenses is a flat $100 fee. Doesn't matter what size the business, it doesn't matter how much the business has to pay. They get a flat fee. What we're recommending with this village code amendment is that it's a percentage. Because what's happening now is even the smaller businesses that may be, only paying $175 or $75 license fee based on their size. If they're late, they still get a $100 fee. And if someone who's paying, for example, a $1,250 license fee, they're only paying $100. So what we're recommending is that we do, if they're late after a certain period of time, it's 50% late fee. And then after that, through February 28th, if they still don't pay, then it's a citation, it's a court appearance in our local hearing officer court. So that's the change we're recommending tonight, is change the flat fee to a percentage.
I have a question. Do you find it's more of the smaller ones that are oftentimes late, or
That
the
might,
larger?
I think it's probably a pretty good mix.
Okay.
That might actually be attached here. Let's see here. So for last year, we had, let's see.
It's about 10% of the
Yeah,
total, right?
Yeah. So last year, we had 629 who had to pay a $75 fee, and I believe, maybe, let's see, we had 90 that were late for the $75, and then we had another 41 that were in the 100 to 600 fee, and then we had 28 that were in the higher fee. So we hope this does deter people from paying late, but we think it's a more balanced approach.
That creates more staff work when they pay late.
It does.
Correct?
In addition, we did poll our other peer communities as well. Most of them are percentage-based, not just a flat fee.
Do we, sorry, Madam Chair.
Go ahead. Trustee Dodge.
Do we have a sense for why they're late? And
Yeah.
You know where I'm going, which is process and technology. How much money are we wasting chasing money that's late because we're not paying people?
Well, when they fill out their business license application, they have to submit their agent is going to be to receive these notices from the village. And typically, the majority of the ones who are franchise or more the national brands, they submit that agent to be the corporate home office. So, for example, if it's Target and they need to renew their business license, I'm not saying Target's late. It goes to the corporate
major
headquarters.
Retailer.
Yeah. And typically, when it goes to the corporate headquarters, it tends to be late, to be honest with you. I think they're just processing so much stuff when we mail these out that they get lost sometimes in the mail. The more the locally owned businesses tend not to be late.
So how much leeway do we give them? When would they typically get their renewal?
They get renewals in November, so they'll be going out this November for the 2019 business license year. And so,
Beginning of November? Mm-hmm. Okay.
and so they have until, obviously, so that gives them 2 months to get those in. And then if we don't get them by mid-January, then we send that second notice out. And that's when there's a 50% late fee added to that.
So is this, process? Highly manual?
It's all through
Or
Enterprise.
automated?
No, it's all through Enterprise.
Does that mean a human being is telling Enterprise to troll through a database, identify the 10% that haven't got, talk me through the process.
Yeah, so we input everything into Enterprise, and then we can run a report that will show how many have not paid.
Okay.
And based on that report, then an automatic letter comes out of Enterprise, and then we mail those out.
But we're still spending time going through somebody's got to look at the report, or is it literally all automated that if you're late, you're getting another letter?
It will be automated where we can run the report after that deadline, and they shoot out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see where I'm going, right?
Yes.
Which is this
It's
few
very
human-
automated.
Higher
Yes.
quality, less human touches,
Yeah.
less cost block.
Yeah.
Next question, or statement. My experience with large corporations is their CFOs delight in paying things late because it's a cash management issue. So what you just said is it's not the local shop, because they're gonna get it, it's gonna be them, they're gonna write the check and we're done, but if it goes to a large corporate, they're gonna sit at corporate for a while because they're under orders from the CFO to, the accounts payable go out 90 days later. So, we're not gonna solve this tonight, but I'd strongly recommend you guys come back and say, okay, depending on the type of business classification, not just the size, if you're late, the fee structure gets worse because they're pushing their costs on us. Let's not play that game. And it's a classification schema.
Madam Chair? So, Mike, to jump onto that, is number one, we're giving them a lot of leeway here with January 1st, January 15th, February. Have we ever said, if we don't have it by the 31st, you're closed down January 1st?
We have never done that. We have not.
You know, it's just, no, it's like the reality of modern corporate America is they will delay a bill as long as they possibly can, paying the bill. You know, sitting on a whole bunch of money at a corporate level for another 60 days matters. Anne Marie's nodding. And so let's just bifurcate this if that's what you think the driver is. That's a process and technology question.
But if they also know the Village of Orland Park isn't going to do anything about it other than assess a $500 fee, which is nothing to them.
Well, we do get to the point where after that third notice, they do get a citation and they get put in court, and then that's when we say we're going to shut you down. But that's not until February of the calendar year.
So, but the way I interpret this is you're going to be actually giving them 15 more days to pay. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
So just, you know,
There's no late fee
right.
for that. We're giving them a 15-day grace period, basically.
Well, if they don't pay by the 30, or what is it, January 1st?
No, no additional fee is hit until January 15th.
Right.
Which is different than what we've done.
Right.
So we're actually, we're giving
There's a
them-
give and a get here.
There is.
Right, and we are, I will say this, even though we have, I can't think of a time since I've been here that we've actually had to shut a business down for failure to pay a business license. Usually once we get them in court, it gets their attention real quick. I know we have never shut a business down because of that.
Yeah, and none of us in this room are
Yeah.
advocating that.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, if I send it to Carrie LLC and it's you, you're going to respond to it. If it goes
Right.
to a corporate center, they just, maybe they email it the same day they get it and maybe
Right.
they don't. And I just think you guys need to pose this from a data and technology perspective, which is if it's going to it's a DBA or there's a corporate headquarters, well then maybe it goes down chute B. Set up another process because, you know, they're screwing around.
So how much manpower is it then if you have to issue 3 citations before you and then take them to court?
It's all through the computer.
But it's somebody, now they've done it with this business, they've issued 3 letters, so that's 3 times somebody's got to send a letter out, and then somebody's got to go to court to be the representative there.
Right, when we get to that third notice, then yes, then we actually write a citation, and then they have to go to court, and then one of my staff members will go there. Usually by the time we get there, no one ends up going to court because they pay it.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, there's a balance point between
Yeah.
being crazy heavy-handed and getting them to comply.
I don't want to give a perception either that majority of our businesses don't pay. The majority of our businesses do pay.
Right.
It's, usually it's repeat offenders.
All right, any other questions, or is there a motion?
Do you want to move this one?
There's not yet.
There's not.
Do you want to do this? We haven't put a motion.
Madam Chair,
Trustee Fant.
move to recommend to the Village Board to approve the local revisions of Title VII, Chapter 1 of the Village of Orland Parks amendments and deletions as part of the Orland Park Village Code.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Orland Park Health and Fitness Center driveway construction.
Madam Chair, well, we've all driven by this project. It's slowly coming to an end, and the good news is now we're ready to install our permanent driveway into the Orland Park Health and Fitness Center. So we've been working with Payless Health to figure out the best way to do this, and we have been able to reach an agreement with them where actually Payless Community Hospital will do the installation and the construction through their contractor who's already mobilized on site. And by doing so, we've been able to save substantial money from what our budget was. So we're going to save about $36,000 by having Payless just do it as us cutting them a check. So that's what we're recommending approval tonight.
That's great.
Madam Chair?
Trustee Dodge.
That is great, so thank you. All right, move to recommend to the village board approval of the payment of $36,434.50 for the construction of the Orland Park Health and Fitness Center to Payless Community Hospital.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, is there a motion
Sure.
to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. That was fun.